Okay, Pete, tell me what your idea is for Social Innovation Camp and what social need it addresses.
It addresses the need for all of us in the social change world to connect to people who are increasingly getting enclosed in gated social networking platforms. And it's fundamentally about trying to build on the efforts that people are making to develop open protocols. Open social is the obvious one, though it still has work to be done on it, but there are a number around, so that people are going to be able to construct applications to be able to take the issues that we care about into the social networking platforms and engage and involve people who spend a lot of time in those platforms.
What's the impact of that going to be, if down the end of the line when it's kind of there and working?
I think if we assume that the model that's evolving on the social networking platforms is that people are using them as their spaces for all their interaction with all their friends, and we know about what that means in terms of viral connectivity and so on. But what it means that unless we can engage with people in that grouping, people who these days, for example, don't use email and don't use public websites, spend most of their time communicating with their friends and engaging with their media on those closed sites. Unless we can connect to those, we will lose out from regular interaction to them. However, we don't just want to communicate with one of the platforms. People will have interests in, any particular issue that you care about. Let us take violence against women. There'll be people who are interested in engaging in activity to support community groups working in that area, in Facebook, in MySpace, in Orkut, in LinkedIn, in Friendster. And there is something about this being social networking 2.1, where we're going to be in the situation where we can effectively construct a group of people who are associated with a particular issue, but we reach down into each of the networks. So an individual punter is operating within their trusted social network with their trusted group of friends, but they're communicating outside of that network with other people in other networks. So in a sense, we're constructing a platform. The technical need is that individual organizations will have a small amount of money. And what we need is effectively an interface, a platform that manages the process of communicating with each of the individual networks and provides a base for particular applications to be built.
I gotcha. So what stage is this idea in? I mean, why did you come up with the idea? Is it something you're working on? Is it something you've seen? You want to replicate?
It's shamelessly lifted from the commercial sector. There are people working in this direction now, constructing platforms largely for marketing and advertising, and we know that this is one of the directions. I mean, there's a lot of activity around trying to agree common protocols for people to work and build across those applications. So I have come across in my work an example of a particular platform being built, which will offer to advertisers and brands the possibility to communicate with users in a number of different networks. Now, we wouldn't be able to afford to build that. We wouldn't be able to afford probably to use those services, and we may not actually want to engage with the same group of people. However, it'd be very good if a small organisation would be able to reach to an open source platform that is constantly evolving and build an application that nonetheless communicates with a number of different social network platforms.
So what do you think?
Sorry, what stage is the idea?
Yeah.
It is simply this, an idea.
Okay.
It's a need. It's a trend.
Yeah. And that leads neatly on to Social Innovation Camp. What do you think Social Innovation Camp can do for you? I mean, the mix of people there is going to be geeks, mentors, funders, different elements.
I think the combination
of,
it's a really powerful combination. We need some geeks to look at the proposition. How realistic is this? Can we develop an open source, constantly evolving platform that's available to the social change movement, on which people can build individual applications and make that available, make that commonly accessible to anyone who wants to use it, but managed by a community of social innovators. Clearly, funders would help in that context, because it's not. I doubt we could build it. I don't know how good the geeks are. I doubt we could build it in a week or a weekend. But I mean, to be able to at the very least spec it out and do some sampling and just try it out with a couple of networks. How do you work with open social? How do you connect with more than one organisation?
Well, I think that's what the camp's there for. So just to round it off. Who are you? Tell us a bit about yourself. What's your job? What do you do for fun? What do you think the best application on the web is? Tell us something about you.
I'm an independent consultant. I've worked in a number of areas. I mean, I've got background in education. I'm a kind of neo-geek, not a real geek, and I've worked for big organisations like Oxfam and smaller organisations like One World, and I did a lot of work around communications and information technology for development in different parts of the world. My favourite website, my favourite web tool. I'm really interested. I've rediscovered Delicious, and there's nothing new about that. But I think the combination of Delicious and tagging, one of the groups I'm working with, Euphoric, has been really exploring how you can use that very powerfully in generating traffic and interest and connecting people. For example, around different knowledges. I've got nothing else to say about me, really.
Would you be able to come to Social Innovation Camp, and if so, would you need to bring anyone else with you to be part of a team to make this idea happen?
I don't think I am. I think I'm moving sideways, Dan, but that's all right. This makes it genuinely a live video event. No, I would come.
Great. I think that wraps it up. Thanks, Pete. Press the same button.